All right, so I'm here with
Ari.
Ari
And Brian.
and Brian. Brian and Ari, you guys are part of the media, really, right?
That's correct. We are shooting something for 23/6.
For 23 cities?
23/6, which is affiliated with the Huffington Post.
So what has your experience been so far?
We've had a hard time getting into things, but once we got in, we got some good stuff. You know, we're basically here to sort of show a sort of lighter side.
What would that lighter side be?
No.
Yeah, here you go.
We're here with Eugene Merman, who's a comedian, and he's going around commenting and interviewing people, and basically sort of causing a small amount of chaos, but in a humorous way.
So why has it been so hard for you guys to, get where you need to be?
Because we're not big enough to get the credentials we need to get into anything.
Haven't they learned anything by now?
Well, I mean, we've been thinking about it a lot. I think all of us have, and there's only a limited amount of space inside that building, right? So, I guess when the people who have really dedicated themselves to whatever this event is get their tickets and they give they give what they can out to all those people, then there's only a limited number of tickets for all of us who. I haven't personally done much for the DNC, and so I don't feel too offended that they're not giving me anything.
Yeah, I volunteered in 2004, so I am.
Right on. So what's the one thing that stood out for you guys out of, being here, high or low?
High or low?
One of the things that have been...
Hey, Wickler! We're on Epic Foo right now.
That's fine.
We're on Epic Foo.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, how's it going?
This is Ben Wickler.
Hi, I'm Ben Wickler. It's a pleasure to meet
It's
you
a
and
pleasure
all
to
those
meet
watching
you.
at home.
Hey, yeah.
This is Ezra Klein. This is Brian Spinks.
Hi.
Brian, I'm Zadi. Hi, nice to meet
We're
you.
ruining your bit.
Oh, no, that's
Sorry.
totally fine.
How you doing?
It's all a party.
Okay, is that cool?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally
bring
cool.
Ben in. All right.
Yeah,
the party
Ben.
perimeter.
Can
Who
you
are,
hang out?
Ben, who are
Second,
you?
You have to run.
I can hang, man. I'm a campaign director for Avaz, which is the global move on, and a former colleague of Mr. Spinks's.
So what is that? What do you do actually?
What I do is Avaz is like 3.5 million people around the world, almost entirely outside the U.S., from every country in 14 languages that fight climate change and fight against Mugabe and
Cluster
Zimbabwe
bombs.
and cluster bombs and Guantanamo and bad things, and then good things we don't fight against because we support them, or we don't mind them at least.
Monks.
We're sort of like Batman, except divided into tons of pieces and then grown from those cells into human beings that walk among us and use the internet.
That is the best kind of Batman ever.
Yeah.
So I was talking to them about their experience here. What's been your experience?
I've been mostly fighting crime at night. There's been an enormous amount of transit, actually. It's been like probably the most foreign oil dependent convention that I've ever attended. There's a lot of use of cabs that are, powered by Saudi Arabian crude that's been refined.
Which is quite ironic because this is supposed to be a very green event.
It's the ultimate irony. Yeah, or the ultimate paradox. What else has happened? There have been very few protests. There have been very few criticisms of John McCain, who apparently is also running for president. There's an enormous amount of credential arbitrage, which is it's a kind of a blood sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, although last night I had the glorious experience of walking in with my honored guest pass, and I was like actually having a conversation with someone about how seemed like things were working out with credentials, but who knows? And then someone runs up to me and says, "Can I trade your pass for a floor pass?" And I'm like, "Yes."
It's like trading cards.
I know, it's rad. But the word is the Google Vanity Fair party tomorrow night is the most security. It's has more security than Air Force One.
Yes.
It takes 6 forms of ID and some sort of hologram something to get on a bus.
Yeah.
And then
It has its own credential.
My understanding is that most of the buses are just being diverted to other cities, and it's only the pre-selected buses that are going to the party.
This is how they do parties.